Dustin Abbott, and I'm here today to do the second of a series of episodes on taking a look at what's in my bag. And so today I'm going to be focusing in on lenses that are, I would consider, wide angle, up to and below 35 millimeters. And so I have a variety of different lenses that I use for different purposes. First of all, let's jump in and take a look at a 35 millimeter equivalent lens. It's the 22 millimeter f2, and this is an EF-M pancake lens. This is one of my most used lenses on the EOS M and now the EOS M3 system. It's really compact, and so as a result it makes that mirrorless combination really tiny, but it also is surprisingly good optically, and so it's good wide open and gives you a little bit of a shallow depth of field look. And then stop down, it's really sharp and is a great landscape image, and so, or excuse me, a landscape lens. And so I find it to be a very versatile little lens, and so enjoy using that. Kind of the equivalent on a full frame lens is one of my beloved lenses, and this is the 35 millimeter f2 IS USM lens from Canon. It's a full frame lens. It's got great optics. It's got incredibly accurate autofocus. I find that I never hesitate to use this lens professionally. I use it a fair bit in portrait work. I use it as kind of a general purpose lens because the autofocus is devastatingly accurate, and that's really a key thing if you're using the lens professionally. The image stabilizer works great. It has a good form factor that I enjoy using, and so it is one of my kind of favorite general purpose lenses to throw onto a full frame body, and of course works also very well on a crop sensor body. This is another mirrorless lens that I enjoy using. This is my true wide-angle lens for the mirrorless system. It's the Rokinon 12 millimeter f2, and so on a Canon crop, which is at 1.6 times, it comes out to right around 19 millimeters, which is nice and wide, and it's also kind of in the sweet spot I find for shooting landscape work. I like this lens, and I elected to add it to my kit despite the fact that it's manual focus only. It's beautifully made. The focus ring moves very, very nicely. It is, as you can see, it is still quite compact, and so it fits well on the system. It has a 67 millimeter front filter thread, which means that using a variety of common filters, including those for doing long exposure with ND filters, works very well on it. It's great optically. It does a lot of things well, and I also like using the wide aperture of it, both for shooting astrophotography at night, but then also if I get close to things, say if I'm out in the forest, it allows me to focus down very closely, and that depth of field is shallow enough with the f2 aperture that I'm able to create some unique images with it. So often if I'm carrying a telephoto kit on the full frame body, I will bring this along mounted on my M3 as a wide angle look at scenes. Very flexible for that. Mixed in this look of modern lenses, autofocus or manual focus lenses that are in my bag, I also have a variety of vintage glass that I use for various purposes. And most of all, these days, I use these for video because they really are built beautifully well. They have aperture rings on them, so that's helpful for shooting video, but they focus super well, much better than what most autofocus lenses do. And so as a result, they're very versatile, they're tiny, they're easy to bring along, and I use them a lot for shooting these kinds of segments as well. I use my vintage glass most of the time when shooting for my YouTube channel because I'm shooting video with them. This is a super multi-coated Tacumar. It's a 28 millimeter, and it is an f3.5, and it's very sharp from wide open. It's a very quality optic despite its age. Also, I use another similar lens. It is the super multi-coated Tacumar 35 millimeter f3.5, and also it's very tiny. This one doesn't play as well with full frame bodies. I can use the 28 millimeter. 35 millimeter tends to really hit the mirror and doesn't perform as well, but it works great. Works a treat for using on a crop sensor body, and of course its tiny size makes it both of these make it a very nice match for using on mirrorless bodies. Finally, my workhorse for most of my landscape work, astrophotography, long exposure photography, is the Tamron 15 to 30 millimeter f2.8 DIVC USD. And so it has got an image stabilizer, it's got a wide aperture and a wide focal range. It is a very large lens, as you can see, but despite that, I elected to have it because it's an exciting lens. It really has an incredible focal length, incredible optics, and really has produced a lot of dynamite images for me. And so to add versatility to that this year, I also added the Wonder Pana system from Photodiox, and so this enables me to use both circular filters. The Tamron has a bulbous front element, which means you can't use traditional screw-on filters on it, but the Photodiox system allows me to use both circular filters, like I have an ND 1000 filter, a 10-stop ND filter, but then also it allows me to use square filters, and so filters like an ND Grad. I use this combination all the time because it produces dynamic images, and some of my favorite images that I've taken this year and images that have proved the most popular amongst viewers have been taken with this combination right here. And so you can see both those that I primarily use on full frame, I primarily use on mirrorless, and then vintage glass that I use for video and sometimes for stills, but mostly for video purposes. And sometimes when I just want to have fun. There's something very organic about analog, about going and shooting with manual focus glass, and sometimes when I shoot just for me, I find that it's the old glass that I reach for. And so there you have a look at what's in my bag for wide angle, going from 15 millimeters to a 19 millimeter equivalent, some 35 millimeter options, and then a 28 and another 35 millimeter there. And so these old vintage lenses, you can often find them for very cheap. I think I paid 10 bucks for my Tacumar 35 millimeter, and it's a fabulous lens. And so anyway, that's what I have in my bag for wide angle. And so if you haven't already, please subscribe. I'm Dustin Abbott. Have a great day.